Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News.
Good afternoon. Bill Bryant and Barbara Bailey reporting for WKYT. A Central Kentucky Police Department is mourning the loss of one of their own.
Nicholasville police officer Burke Rhodes died in a crash on US 27 in Garrett County this morning. He was on duty, headed to training in Richmond when it happened. WKYT's Sean Moody begins our top story team coverage live at the scene now with more on the crash. Sean.
Good afternoon, Barb. Kentucky State Police say Nicholasville police officer Burke Rhodes was heading to the Department of Criminal Justice Training Center in Richmond when this crash happened around 7 o'clock this morning. The crash killed Officer Rhodes and injured people in 2 other vehicles. Police say Officer Rhodes was driving south along US 27 when he collided with another car coming out of Rogers Road. They say that impact spun Rhodes' cruiser around and then sent it into oncoming traffic in the northbound lanes, where an SUV hit that cruiser from behind and to the side slightly. Rhodes was pronounced dead at UK Hospital. Police said the woman in the white car had minor injuries. She was treated at Ephraim McDowell Medical Center in Danville. There wasn't anyone else in her car. Police said her husband was driving the car in front of her. Now, in that SUV, police say there was a family, a man driving with his wife and their young daughter. Police said the man had injuries to his lower extremities. Crews took him to UK Hospital. They didn't believe those injuries were life-threatening. His family went with him. Now, state police say Officer Rhodes had been with the Nicholasville Police Department for about 8 years or so, and he leaves behind a wife and 3 children.
This is an officer that had been with the department for several years. And it's a small enough department that they knew, they were all friends.
Now, state police are still doing their investigation out here on US 27. The northbound lanes are closed, and for the time being, they're allowing northbound traffic to move over into the southbound lanes. But at some point, they're going to have to shut down all 4 lanes of US 27 to do their 3D scan of the area. Once they do that, it'll be about 45 minutes or so before they can reopen these lanes. But they're not sure yet exactly what time they'll be doing that scan. Live in Garrett County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Thank you, Sean. And it has certainly been an emotional morning at UK Hospital, where police have gathered to honor Officer Rhodes.
Many of them showed up to escort Rhodes' body from the hospital. WKYT's Sam Smith is live at UK with more on that tribute. Sam.
About 45 minutes ago, several law enforcement agencies provided an escort for the body of Nicholasville police officer Burke Rhodes. They left from the emergency room parking lot. They went to the Fayette County Coroner's office first, and then were told the body will be taken to Frankfort to the state medical examiner's office, which is standard procedure. Officer Rhodes was pronounced dead here at the hospital this morning. He was on his way to Richmond for training at the time of the wreck. He leaves behind a wife and 3 children. The Fayette County Sheriff's Office, Lexington Police, UK Police, State Police, and of course Nicholasville Police were all here to show their respect for Officer Burke. Live in Lexington, Sam Smith, WKYT.
And the Heroes Memorial Foundation is encouraging anyone to leave a blue light on their porch or in their window over the next few days until next Wednesday to honor Officer Rhodes.
Other news now, the snow and rain caused a home to slide off its foundation this morning. It happened on Redbird Drive in Clay City. Melting snow and heavy rain sent water down the driveway and under the home, causing the foundation to give out. The people who live there say they thought an earthquake had hit.
I actually jerked the window open and looked outside, and then I seen it was much more worse than that. The whole house was just gone, and I had to crawl out the window.
Now, the couple's trying to get what possessions they can out of the house, but they say it's tough because they're afraid the house might collapse. Well, we are right now getting a break from the heavy rain today, but it won't last long.
Yeah, it's a brief one. The wet weather looks to return later this week. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is here with an early check on that forecast. Micah?
Yeah, we're looking down toward the southeast. That's the only location that we actually see some of that rain. And you got to go far southeastern zones, places that actually border Tennessee and also Virginia. So 80–90% of us staying dry. The rest of us, well, down in the southeast, higher elevations. That's where we're seeing some of that rain. It just takes some time. It takes a lot of push to get it over the mountainous regions, and that's what we're seeing down toward the south. Now, it's not much, but it's there. We're starting to see some peaks here and there of some sunshine throughout Lexington, Richmond, Frankfort. Look at the sunshine gleaming off the road. And we're going to be seeing that throughout the afternoon. I expect a mixture of sun and clouds. That rain in the southeast will fade away in the next 2 hours, and you'll see temperatures upper 50s, lower 60s. Focus on the forecast. Enjoy this brief dry period, because this is a dry stretch for the next 48 hours, and then we move some more rain and a lot of rain back into the forecast Friday, off towards your weekend. How long does it last for your weekend? You're going to have to make some changes to those plans. Well, I'll go over your latest forecast. Further detail coming up.
Okay, we'll see you then. Thank you. Triple Crown winning jockey Ron Turcotte is recovering after a crash. Turcotte's van hit a patch of ice near his home in Grand Falls, New Brunswick, Canada, Monday. The van flipped and Turcotte broke both of his legs. A family spokesman says Turcotte is in good spirits and has even requested one blue cast and one white cast to match the silk colors that he wore while riding Secretariat to the Triple Crown in 1973.
Well, police are asking for your help to find a shoplifting suspect. Richmond police say Jim Bradley Rohrer stole an iPad, a cell phone, a Stanley Fat Max knife, a Bluetooth speaker, and a watch worth $300 from Walmart and Meijer on Monday. He was last seen in a Chevy S10 Blazer. Richmond police say Rohrer is also wanted by Lexington police. Well, Hillary Clinton addressed the controversy surrounding email in an address she used as the email address she used as Secretary of State.
And while she acknowledged that it might have been better to use two accounts, the admission is not silencing her critics. Marley Hall has more on the story.
I fully complied with every rule that I was governed by.
Hillary Clinton insists she did nothing wrong, but Republican lawmakers are not so sure. She is under fire for deleting about 30,000 messages from a private account used for personal and business emails while she was Secretary of State. She says they were not work-related. 30,000 more have been given to the State Department for review.
She was the sole arbiter of what's a public record and what's a private record. And you don't get to grade your own papers in our society, which is why I think we need a neutral, detached arbiter.
Clinton spoke about the email controversy for the first time Tuesday, saying at the time it was more convenient to use a personal account for State Department business.
Looking back, it would have been better for me to use 2 separate phones and 2 email accounts.
She also says that no emails contained classified information and there were no security breaches. House Speaker John Boehner said Secretary Clinton didn't hand over her emails out of the goodness of her heart. She was forced to by effective oversight from Congress. Clinton said many of the deleted emails were about planning her daughter's wedding, family vacations, and correspondence with her husband, Bill. She plans to keep those emails private. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
Well, the problem of sleep apnea and the troubles that can lead to during the day is the subject of one of our health reports now.
Also, the deadly effects of stress and depression. Ebony Williams has details in this Better Living report.
Stress and depression can increase the risk of death or heart attack. Researchers at Columbia University Medical Center say when patients experience both conditions, it's a psychosocial perfect storm. A new study published in JAMA finds 40% of severe sepsis survivors are admitted back into the hospital for conditions that could have been prevented. Common reasons for readmission include heart failure and pneumonia. And new research shows people with sleep apnea are much more likely to be in car accidents. Researchers in Sweden say excessive daytime sleepiness is common with sleep apnea and can lead to drowsy driving. The study found the risk dropped when patients received treatment. That's a look at some of the day's top health stories. Ebony Williams, CBS News, New York.
And there's much more to come on WKYT News at 12:30. All your favorite Disney favorites will take to the ice at Rupp Arena starting tomorrow night. We'll have a preview of Passport to Adventure.
Should be fun, and also a program aimed at helping veteran farmers here in the Bluegrass. We'll talk to one of them about Homegrown by Heroes. That's ahead.